Okay. Bye. Oh, you're walking this way too? Cool. The other day oh, you're walking that way now. Okay, bye. That was so awkward. Now, either it was the situation I just reenacted that you find awkward, or the thing that happened right before that you're all probably still thinking about, or the fact that I just started off this presentation doing a one-woman walk and talk scene. Whatever you think is awkward, something awkward just happened up here. Awkward. A little etymology lesson. Awk comes from the Old Norse term afugr, A-F-U-G-R. It means to be turned the wrong way. And word means movement. Think backward, forward. So awkward literally means wrongward, to go the wrong way. Bethany Teachman, a professor at the University of Virginia's Department of Psychology, says that awkward situations can be boiled down to an incongruence between what we think should be happening and what is actually happening. So what you think should be happening is that you and that kid from econ are having a really great dinner. But what is actually happening is, after doing the "it's cold outside, how was your day? McKinney should totally be open on the weekends" routine 3 times through, you're sitting in total silence, looking anywhere but at each other, with nothing to say. These are awkward moments. They're etched into our favorite TV shows, our Facebook feeds, and most certainly our memories. And every day we spend a huge amount of time and energy trying to avoid them, and every day we fail. Today, I will argue that we are waging a pointless war against awkwardness. We'll start by discussing the reasons for this war, why awkwardness is our enemy in the first place. Next, we'll talk battle plans. Can we win this war? Do we want to? And finally, I'll explain why now is the time to surrender. Why now is the time to embrace awkwardness. The top definition of awkwardness on Urban Dictionary instructs its readers to, when faced with an awkward situation, just back slowly away. Don't worry, my Urban Dictionary citation isn't what Hamilton student research has come to. Rather, Urban Dictionary's advice is emblematic of our approach to awkwardness in America. Just back slowly away, or videotape it, right? I mean, these are our 2 tactics in the war against awkwardness, and it makes sense that we fight. In fact, a study published in the August 2008 issue of Psychological Science, led by Jiansheng Chen of Purdue University, finds that social pain is as real and intense as physical pain. Not only that, but social pain in the long run is actually worse, because individuals can re-experience and relive social pain more easily and more intensely than physical pain. And you know where we relive our social pain all the time? Social media. Now, do not misunderstand me. I have no intention of performing a tie up all the millennials and burn their iPhones speech, but it's important to acknowledge that while awkwardness has always existed, today we have 2 realms of social interaction in which we can be awkward, the physical and the virtual world. And when awkward situations happen in either of those worlds, there is now Facebook and Reddit and Urban Dictionary pages that we can go to compare and analyze our situations and ultimately give those situations a label. It's awkward. Awkwardness is painful and ever present. It makes sense that we want it gone. And it makes sense that our first line of defense against it is to just back slowly away. Usually, one of the first questions a person will ask themselves when they're thinking about waging a war is, will I win? Can we beat awkwardness? Well, we're humans. We're necessarily unpredictable and uncomfortable. So no, there is no hope for the eradication of awkwardness. The second question to ask is, do I want to win? Do we want to beat awkwardness? Convention and Urban Dictionary may say yes. I say no. Experiencing awkwardness, attempting to wave at that person who might not wave back, letting color rise to your cheeks, sitting in silence because right now there is nothing to say. These are natural, inevitable experiences. We must give ourselves permission to experience them. And if we do, a study published in the July 2012 issue of Qualitative Research in Psychology, led by Joshua Clegg of John Jay College, finds that feelings of awkwardness focus attention and intention on social relationships. When these feelings are expressed, others can lift them up and use them to engender a social transformation. Embracing awkwardness means waving at that person and not worrying about whether or not they wave back, because if they do see you, it might make their day. And it means letting your cheeks go pink because that's what they want to do. And it means using that awkward silence as a moment to think, so that the next thing you say actually means something. Say something that means something. That's what I had hoped to do in this speech. So far, I've used weird passerby interactions and silent dinners to represent awkwardness, but if these were the only situations that we tried to avoid, I wouldn't have much of a speech. But they're not, and I do. See, today our problem is that our desperation to avoid awkwardness produces a silencing effect that enables injustice. We cannot handle going against inane cultural norms, like if there's more than a 5-second lull in conversation, you may as well flip the table over and jump out the window now. So think of what we do in the face of more problematic, insidious norms, like people of color are the only ones who should think critically about their race. That's a norm worth challenging, worth going wrongwards against, and often we refuse to do so. Micah Pollock, an anthropologist and professor of education studies at the University of California, San Diego, calls this silence color muteness when it comes to conversations about race. And Atlantic writer Megan Garber calls it the weaponization of awkwardness when discussing victim blaming and sexual assault. "You're making everyone uncomfortable" are fighting words that should be fought against. To acknowledge, discuss, and fight against injustice is awkward because to challenge the status quo is awkward. It's wrongward. It happens when people go against what is in the name of what should be. We must engage in awkward conversation and awkward action. And if we have to blush and stammer and cringe to get there, so be it. So, come on. I've been standing up here for the past 7 minutes, blushing for about 6 minutes, 45 seconds, and I've stammered a few times. I haven't felt the need to cringe, but you probably have. It's time that we wave the white flag. Today, I argued that we are waging a pointless war against awkwardness. We discussed the reasons for this war, why awkwardness is our enemy. It's because it's uncomfortable. Then, we questioned whether or not this discomfort is enough to justify the war that we're in. It's not. And finally, I explained how embracing awkwardness can enable our pursuit of justice. In an era when the phrase Black Lives Matter is somehow up for debate, and people have to tweet "Me Too" to be heard, awkward conversations are necessary for progress, and so is awkward action. Post that awkward photo, attend that awkward march, write that awkward policy. Everyone, and this is why giving this speech right now is so cool, everyone in this room is capable of going wrongwards against injustice. Okay, well, I'm done, so bye. Oh, you're all still here. That's so awkward. No, it's so cool. Why are you here?